this is Ginger. Welcome to my channel, Art That Plays and Prays. Thank you for joining me. We're going to make an art journal today using Caran Neocolor. It's a wax pastel that you can dip in water. My main inspiration for this page is a ballerina and just roughly making a sketch here. And I'm going to prep my page using an acrylic medium, this glazing liquid, so that the page will be non-porous and whatever ink or paint I put here will not bleed through the back. So I got an old book and randomly tore them and crumpled them here just to add some dimension into the page. And if you don't have acrylic medium, you can also use Podge or craft glue. And I'm sure I'm going to cover this words up with a lot of paint later, but at least it's more textured. The page will be more textured. And here I'm adding some textured paste, which is glossy and will dry clear, and I'm applying it now with a palette knife. Here I'm using some distress ink from Tim Holtz. There's Vintage Photo, this brown, dark brown color, and then there's this Chaw, which is a little bit more golden. And I want to highlight my edges with black. It's also distress ink, and I'm using a natural sea sponge because I like the texture of the sponge. It's very random. You never know what you're going to get with this. And I just make sure it's damp so it helps move the colors along. And I want the center to be covered with this Liquitex copper. It's very iridescent, so I want my page to shine. And adding some distress stain also, which is also from Tim Holtz, just to keep the layers in here. And just so it's not all brown, I wanted also to add a bit of color here, so I'm using my golden high flow acrylic, just so it looks a bit more aged and it's not monochromatic. And dabbing lightly again with this sea sponge. Sea sponges come in different sizes and different textures, and you never know what you'll get, but it's very interesting when you use that. Now the problem with my page now, I use too much layers of paint that I can't see my paper, my ballerina. So I'm trying to highlight it again with this Staedtler Tri-Plus. I'm using this to just draw my ballerina again, so I can apply this Neocolor. Now this Neocolor, it's waxy. It's kind of hard to lay down because my page is very glossy, and well, it just doesn't adhere. So well, first you scrub the paint in there, and then I use a wet brush just to well, spread the color and make it less Crayola looking, so it becomes smoother. And I found that the best way to lay it down on a surface that's glossy like this is by using this my hair dryer. It's warm, on warm setting, so it kind of melts the wax pastel, so it's easier to lay it down on this page and makes it more manageable. So I'll use my round brush with its fine tip so I can just move the colors. So here I'm using my Staedtler Tri-Plus fine liner, and since I'm drawing on top of a crayon, I mean a wax paint, the film gets into the nib of the pen, so I scratch the nib on paper just to release the ink to make it easier. And I soften those lines, those ink lines, using a brush. Again, it's dipped in water, not too much water, just a little dampness will do, just to spread those pigments around. And well, I also use this Derwent graphic line painter because it's easier to get the inks in there. It's not very sensitive to the surface. Whatever surface you have, the ink just engages right away, so I don't have any problems with it. there's a lot of movement in my page, a lot of textures here, and I'm using this Neocolor again just to go over the ridges of my paper. I'm applying it sideways, I'm holding it sideways because I'm not going to color the entire page. I'm just going over those crumpled book paper. Wherever the textured face created a peak, that's where I'm putting my crayon on, just to add a little bit more visual interest in this journal. So as you can see here, just a few highlights here and there. So it's not overpowering, so it's not all brown. Out there, including myself, there are times when I question my purpose, when sometimes I wonder, what am I good for? What am I here for? What am I doing in this life? And well, I just realized in prayer that everyone has talent. You have talent. You have gifts, and you can definitely share what you know and influence others for good. And so do not be afraid. For whoever is out there who's doubting your own skills, do not be afraid to bring out your shine. If you look inside yourself, you'll actually see that there's something of value you can offer others, and there's a better version of yourself that can inspire and motivate people, and that's what this journal is all about. You have shine in you, so bring it out, share it with the world, and let others be encouraged by what you have.